Spring doesn't get any better than here in Baton Rouge. The crawfish boil underway. Chilly conditions for Game 3 on a mic'd-up Monday between Texas A&M and LSU in this top 20 showdown. And the wind tonight is blowing out. And Old Man Winter has made his return down on the Bayou. Bundle up on this Monday evening. We take it back in time 24 hours ago. Maya Perez, 4 home runs in her last 5 games, 2 this weekend. The Howdy Hat was on, some drama late. Sydney Lessentine comes in to record the save. Also had the victory in Game 1 back on Saturday. And Perez with a couple of home runs, the power surge for the Aggies. 7-2 in Game 1, 3-2 last night here at Tiger Park. So glad you could join us once again. It is game number 3, Aggies and Tigers. Michelle Smith, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. I am Roy Philpott. Texas A&M right now playing some great softball.
Playing some great softball. And if you want to know how to hit a softball, just watch Maya Perez. She has done it this weekend. She is 5 for 6. She has just bashed the ball all over the park a couple of times out of the yard. How about 6 of the 10 RBIs coming off of Perez's bat here in this series for Texas A&M? 19 home runs in the last 12 games. So it is Maya Perez, but it's also this lineup. It is very deep for the Aggies. And on the flip side for LSU, they started to strike late in the game. They're going to need to take that momentum into this 3rd game of the series and really work on that situational hitting. Runners on, and with 2 outs, they've been lacking just a little bit. So I think if they can build on the momentum of last night and strike early in this game, it will definitely help LSU.
Of course, a good start in the circle would be imperative as well, as LSU looks to avoid the sweep. And the 5th-year senior Tatum Clopton out of Lawrence, Kansas, will get the start for head coach Beth Perina.
Yeah, and Clopton, when she is working from ahead, she is tough. She has a whip under 1, so she controls the zone. She is healthy, and she is ready to go. I was speaking with her yesterday, very excited to have the opportunity to start here in Game 3.
Oklahoma State transfer, a couple of trips to the Women's College World Series with the Cowgirls. As we take a look at the A&M starting lineup, Kennedy Powell will set the table. She has scored 5 runs in 2 games, and Maya Perez has done the bulk of the damage, as Michelle mentioned, with the long ball. And be careful throwing to her tonight with the wind blowing straight out towards right center field.
Be surprised if they give her much of anything to hit.
First pitch strike underway in Baton Rouge. Kennedy Powell 2 for 5. She scored 5 times and hitting almost 450 on the season. The third baseman, who was quite active yesterday in Game 2 in that victory, and serves this one into right field off the glove of Franklin. Check deck. Yeah, it was Franklin out there. And Aggies, the runner at second base, as Powell put a charge into that one.
Powell just so good in this leadoff position because of the defense, the way that Franklin was positioned more going into the gap. It is not her glove side to the gap, right? So she's got to reach across her body off the glove. That's probably a ball that definitely needs to be caught when it hangs up like that.
E9 puts Powell at third base. And here's Talon Edwards. Aggies have struck first in the first 2 games. They have scored in the top of the first inning in both contests. Edwards, the senior out of Moore, Oklahoma. And upstairs to even the count. Veteran umpiring crew again today. Mike Burwell calling balls and strikes. Terry Holt over at first base. Kevin Condor at third. Edwards also transfer from Oklahoma State. The former teammates going against each other to start. That's always an interesting dynamic this day and age. Down the left field line, foul territory, who wants it, and a diving grab was made. The throw to third, not in time, and Powell able to sneak in ahead of the throw.
That is a long way for Edwards. Hodge going back from the infield. Lorenz coming in from left field. This ball's going to hang up. And again, we talked about the win last night. The win tonight also going to be a factor. Great job by Edwards. And then the throw coming back in. And I think they're trying to decide whether or not they should. Trying to figure out if they possibly need to look for a replay on that.
Kylie Edwards has had an incredible weekend at shortstop. Made a couple of dynamic plays yesterday, deep in the hole in critical moments, and let's see what's happening.
The rolling on the field is safe at third base. LSU is challenging that call. Previous plays under review.
Big call early in this one on the running grab by Edwards to get it back to third quickly. Michelle, I thought it could go either way. I think Kennedy Powell did as well, and here it comes. I'm going to tell you, I think that she tagged before the foot slid in safely. And the Hawkeye view, do we know that, though, given the call on the field?
Right. Given the safe call on the field, they have to have enough video evidence on the tag. And this is the angle. Maybe they're going to be able to see a little bit better. Trying to see if that is on the hamstring area of the leg. Contact is made.
I'm going to tell you that I believe that it is. And I'm going to emphasize the word believe.
Yes.
I've learned in these scenarios you always have to give yourself an out. That's perhaps the best look we have.
Yeah.
And that angle, Michelle, makes me believe that the tag came in a bit later from the previous shots that we had.
After review, the rolling on the field stands. She's safe at third base. LSU has one challenge remaining.
And that last shot, I think, was the difference.
Can really get in tight on those shots.
What did we
clarity.
What did we do before reviews? We had a play like that.
We just griped about the call.
Forever and ever.
50% of the people thought it was a great call, and the other 50% were like, oh, that was not a good call.
So just one away with Powell at third base. It feels like that she has lived at the hot corner this weekend. Wind gusting, and here's Maya Perez. And this is where Tatum Clopton has to be very careful. And I mean, anything near the plate has got a chance to leave the ballpark tonight.
Absolutely.
With Perez in there.
Well, I don't think they give her anything. I mean, they've learned that the last two games. Even just one or two balls off the plate, putting the ball or the pitch in the river, Perez has proven that she can take that ball out of the yard.
3 straight out of the zone.
Yeah, and I think this is smart. You have to make somebody else in this lineup for Texas A&M beat you. Perez, we mentioned it, she's 5 for 6. She's got 6 of the 10 RBIs in this series.
Well, Perez on the free pass, 4 straight.
Well, Tatum's primarily a rise ball, curve ball pitcher. She will throw some changeups as well. She has a good job, does a good job of really expanding the strike zone to right-handed hitters with that curve away. She's going to have a couple of righties coming up now and working Kowalewski. See if she can work that outer half of the zone to them as well as that rise ball.
Didn't see work on Saturday in game 1. Suspended due to a violation of team rules. We did see her last night in a big-time play over at first base on a grab and a tag that was receiving a throw that was off target. Chance to do some damage here. 0 for 3 last night. 378 with runners in scoring position this year. And a ball and a strike to count. Powell and Perez both on. They continue. Find ways to get on base. 31 straight for Perez. Off speed on the outer half, 1 and 2.
That's a nice pitch. They work a curveball in the inner half, trying to get underneath Work's hands, and then they go with that changeup on the outer half to get to a 1-2 count. where Clopton is very good. When she's ahead, hitters are hitting just .5059 against her.
Sparkling outside, 2-2. Wind was blowing in game 1 on Saturday, in yesterday in game 2. A different story here in the series finale. Popped up, and that'll be playable. Who wants it? Right in front of the circle, and a running grab by Hodge. Came a long ways. Edwards covering over at third for a very big second out.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the ball is moving a lot as it is coming down. That is a great job by Avery Hodge to get underneath this. Look where she starts at, and then at the last minute, that ball is moving a good 10 feet, looking for that secondary play. Big second out of the inning here with runners at first and third.
Beth Arena out of the dugout. She knows how important it is to keep the Aggies off the scoreboard here, because that hadn't happened top of the first inning in their first 2 games against Texas A&M.
Well, Texas A&M has done a good job of setting the tone in the first 2 games of this series, and was one of the things that Tricia Ford told us yesterday is that, just got to keep the foot on the accelerator. She is doing everything she can to make sure that her team takes the extra 60 feet, get on the board early, because she knows that sets the tone of the game.
A big AB. Ariel Kowalewski as Tricia Ford. 3 straight appearances in the NCAA tournament in College Station, and aiming for number 4 this year, the number 1 overall national seed a year ago. And Kowalewski digs in. Inside for ball 1. Sophomore out of Richmond, Texas. Now behind home plate. Texas A&M upstairs 2-0.
And I'm sure Beth Tarina came out to talk a little bit with Clopton with her defense, and Kowalewski is a lefty. The splits for Clopton are way better when she's throwing against righties than versus lefties. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to try to force the hand here and work against KK Dement, and you can see there's the count. You can see how much better she is when she's throwing ahead in the count versus behind in the count.
Well, she's missed twice in this AB with the changeup, and now Texas A&M with the bases loaded. Second walk issued by Clopton. And here comes KK Dement. Powell's over at third base. Perez is at second. Kowalewski at first. Now, Dement had a home run in game 1. Could have had 2 on a ball that was hit to deep right field with the bases loaded. In a similar circumstance in the top of the first inning. When she did gain redemption 2 frames later, home run to left center. And that really was part of the big difference between these 2 teams in that game and this weekend. Change over the heart of the plate. And quickly it's 0-2.
And this is where Tatum is so good. When she is ahead, she can expand the zone, look for her to really try to work that curve ball away, get it running into the river, into that left-handed batter's box.
Tried to check her swing and just was able to.
Oof, that could have gone either way. That could have been called strike 3. Beth Tarina wanted it. She was halfway out of the dugout.
Just miss, and a good take by Dement. 2-2.
So they show her rise ball up. She gets the check swing, curve ball away. See if they come back upstairs. Try to get underneath her hands.
3 of 4, the bases loaded. Turned on that one quickly. We'll do it again. Did have the grand slam against Utah State. Set A&M freshman records a year ago with 18 doubles and 64 driven in. Sun shining brightly. Critical moment here at the top of the first. Pitch number 26 from Clopton. And Dement stays alive. KK apparently a big fan of Taco Bell, which is always kind of surprising because I enjoy Taco Bell. It's fun when other people enjoy Taco Bell. Her favorite restaurant. Full count. Nowhere to put KK DeMent. One more out of the zone. It's 1-0 Aggies. This feels like the 7th inning last night. And DeMent serves it straight up into the air, left side of the infield. And retreating and falling down to make the grab, Kylie Edwards gets it done. Tense moments early, and LSU escapes. Back in Baton Rouge, oh yeah, cold outside, but the crawfish boil fully underway earlier today. The wind wisping, little corn on the cob. I'm sure it's seasoned appropriately down here on the bayou, as you would expect. And good food, good friends, here for Game 3, the series finale between Texas A&M and LSU. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, so glad you could join us. Sydney Lessentine gets the start. She's a Game 1 winner on Saturday, picked up her first save last night.
Yeah, she's been strong in this series. Started Game 1 through 56 pitches through 4 innings. Gave up just 1 run in those 11 pitches last night, as you mentioned, Roy, to pick up that save. So enough work. So 5 innings of work in this series, and has been strong in that circle. She is the ace of this staff. Really good movement. Great composure. Tricia Ford really likes what she brings to the table and how she leads this team.
Yeah, she was great a year ago as well for the Aggies. Led the staff in ERA at 2.85. And also limiting opposing batters. And just like that, Hodge on pitch number 1. There was contact. And LSU with an early base runner.
Drop ball that she hangs on to a little bit too long.
6th time this season that Lessentine has hit a batter. A good start for the Tigers. Hodge in that leadoff position for the 2nd time in as many nights, and for the 2nd time this year. Leading hitter Jayla Lassiter takes a first pitch strike. Hodge, Lassiter, Bajaran will lead the charge for head coach Beth Torina. And Tori Edwards, monster shot last night in the home run department. Her 5th of the season, and that kind of gave LSU some much needed life in the middle portion of Game 2.
Well, LSU's done a good job of getting on base. They walk well, so they really do draw a lot of walks, hit batters, but it's been once they get on base, the bugaboo is just they haven't been able to move their teammates up 60 feet, and then, of course, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Lassiter's 0 for 6 in her first 2 games, hitting .342. She would love to get her bat warmed up in this chilly weather. I mean, it was 81 degrees here in Baton Rouge yesterday. With that wind gusting, it still felt fantastic. And then you go to sleep, you hear the rumble of thunder. You wake up this morning, all of a sudden it's 48. And that cold weather has persisted into the evening hours. Plus the wind. On the outside edge, and a called strike 3.
This is one of the things that Sydney can do so well, is expand that strike zone with the curveball. She's got a lot of rise and drop, but this is a little bit where she pulls across her body. She gets that rotation where that ball's just hitting the corner and running. Got a little extra love on that outer half.
Always a good thing if you're a pitcher. And a first pitch strike, Macy Bajaran. It was a 7-inning game last year where Lessentine struck out 19 batters. So you know her stuff is legitimate, elite, right?
Yeah.
Elite.
Elite level spin as well as speed.
Bergeron 0 for 7 this weekend. Now you can tell LSU's just trying to fight its way out of a miniature slump to begin conference play. Tough series up in Knoxville last weekend. Bergeron out in front, 1-2. Had a chance to win a couple of games against the #1 team in the country. Couldn't quite finish the deal. And you come back home and get Texas A&M and Beth Torina. You know, anybody in this conference knows how tough it is.
Yeah, how very difficult weekend in and weekend out.
Sydney Lessentine, you mentioned the elite stuff. What do you like?
Yeah, she's going to be in the 60s, so she's got really good variety in her velocity. She's got a good rise curve and change up. She has started to use that drop ball a little bit more to have a different look down in the zone, but she does have a lot of upspin. And she also has a whip below 1, so both these pitchers do a good job of keeping their opponents off base, although we haven't seen that here in the first inning.
Full count.
Lessentine has a very live arm. You see her, a lot of her pitches will break late and sharp, which is what you want. That's how you induce a lot of swing and miss.
And the payoff, Lessentine delivers out in front, Bergeron, and now potential pickoff between first and second. And Hodge caught in no man's land. Perez will try to track her down. One more toss out of the baseline, and there it is. Texas A&M escapes as Hodge gets picked off trying to steal second. Top of the second, still scoreless in Baton Rouge on a mic'd up Monday. Beth Torina, we appreciate you.
What kind of energy you brought? Yeah.
In terms of like consumption?
Oh my gosh. Mel, fill this guy in. What? Need some juice. You know, you gotta cheer, you gotta jump, you gotta like.
You gotta bring the energy, Michelle. You gotta have the juice in game 3, trying to avoid the sweep.
Exactly. Gotta be ready to go. All hands on deck. All the coaches, all the staff, strength coach, you name it, you got to be ready to go.
110%. An eventful first frame results in exactly 0 runs being scored. And just kind of a microcosm of the start of SEC play when the rundown we saw there with Avery Hodge moments ago. Kelsey Mathis will lead things off. And when you're unable to come up with that clutch at bat, and things tend to snowball. LSU ranked in the top 20, certainly deserving of that, trying to find its way and get its first league victory here in mid-March. Mathis is 2 for 5 this weekend and hitting at 300 exactly as a result. Fly ball into the wind. Ballpark's going to hold it, and Lorenz in plenty of time.
Well, and back to your point about LSU, you can look at their schedule, you can look at their record right now, and you look at the 9 losses, but they have played so many ranked teams that it's easy to panic. You start thinking, oh, we're losing games, but you're losing to teams that are 3 to Tennessee, ranked #1 in the country.
Paisley Allen fouls one back. And you take a look at the strength of schedule.
That SOS, strength of schedule.
It's not a cry for help, it's strength of schedule. Yes.
Exactly. It sometimes feels like a cry for help when you're facing so many good teams.
Yeah, 3 straight at #1 Tennessee. And some golden opportunities there.
And they were in those games, right? They had a lead against Tennessee 4-0 in both the second and third games. Wasn't able to keep it, but you know, this is a team that moving forward, they can figure out their offense. I think they have the ability to have a lot of arms in the circles, and there it is. I mean, that just shows you right there. 1-8 against ranked opponents. Ranked win against Oklahoma State University down in Clearwater.
Fly ball left field. That's going to drift back a little bit at the wall. Tracking and catching. And Lorenz able to bring it in. Well, nothing easy about that. And the ball just kept drifting and going. And for a second, you thought maybe it was going to leave the ballpark.
Well, Mathis gets underneath this and drives it a long way, but a great job by Lorenz. You can see her reaching out, trying to find that padding. Look at, she can feel her feet on that warning track. She's reaching out to try to find that padding and then elevates at the right time to make that tough catch with the sun in her eyes.
That is a scary feeling,
yeah,
with the sun and the wind and right against the wall. Now the glasses are on. We saw that with Paisley Allen yesterday out in left field for the Aggies. She was the batter there, nearly hit one out of the park. 2-0 the count. Vrajel. Down a hit this weekend on the outside corner, 2-1. Frankie still hitting almost 350. Batting ninth. Right back up the middle. That'll sneak through for a base hit. And a 2-out knock to center field. Get us back to the top of the Aggies order. Just able to sneak that one through and right past Clopton.
Third baseman number 1, Kennedy.
Now Kennedy Powell and Maya Perez, they're on base streak. Continues. The shift is in play. The LSU outfield.
And this is exactly what you're talking about. So right field is over, and you can see the left fielder all the way down the line. So even though Powell is a left-handed hitter, you can just see by the defensive alignment that they're going to be working her middle away.
That is exactly how Bergeron was set up. Tap back to Clopton in plenty of time. Well, the 2-out single stranded, and we are scoreless headed to the home half of the second. LSU softball, you go back to the last regular season championship in the Southeastern Conference, 2004. 5 regular season titles overall. The tournament championship in 07. It can't be 19 years ago, but I suppose that it is. And then the last appearance of the Women's College World Series back in 2017. And Beth Torina, the head coach, year number 15, Michelle, would love to change that this campaign. And certainly there's some components of this team she absolutely loves. They're just trying to find their way a little bit offensively right now.
Yeah, I think it's like every program trying to figure out your identity. They've got a lot of new players in from the transfer portal, as well as some freshmen. And I think offensively, if they can just get on a more of a roll, a rhythm, passing the bat, that's going to help them put some runs up on the board. And getting this young lady, one of the best hitters in the country last year, Tori Edwards.
Hitting coach Bryce Neal coming in. Beth Torina indicating to us that that was a significant addition to the staff and changing perspectives on a number of components with this program. And they've been talking a lot in between innings. You could tell the wheels are turning. Let's just find a way to get this thing going where we need to get it going towards on offense.
Well, the big thing in this series has been productive outs. Once the runners get on, moving them. They have not been efficient at doing that, and that always costs you, whether or not you're, as a coaching staff, sometimes you try to force the hand, hit and runs, just some button runs, just something to get the defense in motion to try to get your runners moved up into scoring position.
Tori Edwards was the batter after Hodge was picked off trying to steal second, and launches that one to straightaway center. Mathis was there for out number 1. The shift that we saw moments ago, are we seeing more of that in softball these days in 2026?
We are seeing more of it. It's important that your pitcher has the ability to pitch to the glove, because obviously you don't want to be crossing up your signs or your catcher, so that you have the ability to be able to shift. But you know, Texas A&M does this too. They really are in the gaps And so their corner outfielders, you can see they're in the gaps. They are definitely not down the lines. And so they're basically playing the odds that the ball's not going to be struck down the line. It's going to be hit more in the gap, and if it is, they're going to be there to take away a hit.
As a hitter, I don't like that, by the way. Because I'm going to try to hit it where they're not, and then inevitably that's going to get me out sooner. Pitch number 20 from Lessentine. Settles in for a called strike. Boy, her misses are not by very much, and it makes it very tempting, I would think, as a hitter to swing.
100%. That's a nice curveball in the outer half, and you really have to look at the spin coming out of the hand. I think that's an art that young hitters really need to concentrate on, because the direction the ball is spinning is the direction it's going to move.
And you have about 0.4 seconds to decipher that and figure out what you want to do.
This is true. So the sooner you can pick it up out of the hand, the better, and the more time, milliseconds may it be, to be able to tell what direction the ball's going to be moving.
Char Lorenz, the hitter. A couple of nice plays in left field with this win already today. Tap back to Lessentine, 2 away.
That's a really nice pitch on a 3-1 count. And Lorenz tries to hold up, and a little comebacker to Lessentine. Second out of the inning.
Brings us to Alex Franklin, 1 for 5 this weekend. Made a nice diving, actually never even touched the turf yesterday, approaching the right field line in a critical moment. Franklin tap dances out after first pitch out of the zone for the sophomore from here in Louisiana. Something about the Louisiana prep standouts that end up at LSU, where a league where it just means more, it means a little bit more for them to stay close to home.
A lot of great softball programs here in Louisiana as well. Beth Gerard helped start a lot of them. She was the head coach here before Coach Trina took over.
Franklin still tied for the SEC lead with 5 triples this year. Tells you about her speed. A couple of good takes, 3-0.
This is one thing you don't typically see from Lessentine. She usually works from ahead. Does not give up a lot of walks. Just 6 base on balls in her 59 innings of work coming into today's game. And so there you can see when she's ahead, she is just tough to barrel up. And when she's behind, it batting average against jumps almost 150 points.
She has a very businesslike approach, precision, accuracy, and just doesn't feel like a lot gets in her way in the circle.
Well, that's what you want. You want a routine when you're in the circle.
Hitters count, and Franklin down the right field line, foul territory. Perez making her 8th start at first base today, gave it a look. Maya Perez, such a great energy about her, just coming to the ballpark, taking practice swings, and just usually all smiles all the time.
Well, if I hit like that, I'd be smiling all the time, too.
Great point. Payoff pitch number 28 for Sydney Lessentine. And served to deep left field, and that one is gone. An outstanding piece of hitting and the second home run of the year for Alex Franklin. And LSU out in front for the first time this weekend.
Roy, we talked about it, that momentum they were trying to gain at the end of Game 2 last night. You could see the energy starting to come about. They have been a little bit locked in here at the beginning of Game 3, and Franklin just gets all into a pitch after being worked away a lot of this at-bat. They try to sneak back underneath the hands, and Franklin says, oh no, I'm going to barrel this up and send it out of the yard.
Well, that's a big run, and Beth Torino on a mic'd up Monday, very encouraged by that swing from her sophomore right fielder. LSU 14-2 this year, Michelle, when scoring first.
Yeah, they are a team of momentum, and when they grasp it, really does a lot of positive things for them.
Texas A&M has never swept LSU. Difficult to do here in Tiger Park. That one's tapped foul.
Franklin doing a good job in that at bat too. She started out 3-0, and it was actually wondering when Kowalewski went out and talked to her pitcher, Lessentine, if they were going to talk about not giving her something too good, but they worked her back into full and then gets a pitch she can handle. And we mentioned the graphic, right? Pitching from ahead, batting average against versus pitching from behind.
Makes a big difference. Ball 2 strikes to Kylie Edwards. A hit in 2 games. Indiana native junior has been outstanding at shortstop yesterday and today. Full count.
Takes a little off that pitch. LSU doing a good job of not swinging through those off-speed pitches, not being fooled by them.
Years at Mississippi State for Edwards. Now at LSU, and a good take off the plate, and a walk issued by Lessentine. And the inning continues after the Franklin home run. 2 outs with a runner at first. Now for Pickett. Ciela Pickett, the heart of the box, good speed at first, and a first pitch strike from Lessentine.
Well, and that's the pitch for Lessentine. That's her off speed. That's coming in at 58 miles an hour. A couple of those pitches have been 61, 60. That's a little bit too fast. I think she needs to keep that between 57, 58 miles an hour for it to be more effective.
Pickett a bit tardy, 0-2. Freshman from California. Was into bat late, crunch time last night. LSU nearly came back after trailing 3-0. You can tell Lessentine starting to battle a little bit, trying to limit the damage to just the home run by Franklin. Out of the glove, and that's going to allow Edwards to race to second base. So now the Tigers with a runner in scoring position. And a wild pitch, second of the season from Lessentine, and now a conversation in the circle. Patricia Ford, what are you telling her here?
Yeah, I think just, trying to get her to set back in, refocus. You've got 7, 8, 9 up. You've got 2 outs, even though there's a runner in scoring position. I mean, the one area that Lessentina's had a little bit of struggles with is she just did give up her 8th home run of the year. So, she doesn't give up a lot of walks. She does have one in the inning. She doesn't give up a lot of home runs. She does have one given up in this inning. So I think probably just trying to get her to refocus on what she needs to get her pitches to do. She's not really getting that curve on the outer half. Maybe make a small adjustment, see if she can't get a little tighter, a little bit more late break to induce a swing and miss.
Any impact with the colder weather and all the wind today for a pitcher in the circle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some pitchers flat out just pitch better in warmer weather than colder weather. Got to make sure you stay warm in the dugout between innings. There's a lot that goes into it.
2-2 after the meeting, and upstairs swinging right through it is Pickett. Third strikeout for Lessentine, and escaping, yielding just the one run on the home run by Franklin.
Alex Franklin, the sophomore, takes the pitch low and inside and drives it out of the park. Her second home run of the year. It gives LSU the lead early in Game 3 of this series.
Home Run Derby X is retired MLB players with either like high school or collegiate athletes. It was just really just to show women can do it and women can hit baseballs too. I'm a Dodgers fan, so it was super fun. Getting to play with Adrian Gonzalez is honestly a flex of mine that I'll always show off.
My, that is a big-time flex indeed. The leading home run hitter for the Texas A&M Aggies, 2 home runs this weekend, 12 on the season, and Maya Perez has just been sensational to watch and to get to know these last couple of seasons.
Yeah, and let's put this in context. 54% of her hits are for extra bases. The average is somewhere in the low 30s, okay? So she is 20% plus better than average. I mean, she just has so much power.
We'll see if she gets anything to hit tonight. LSU has its first lead of this weekend series on a mic'd up Monday, and Maya Perez in the on-deck circle will follow Edwards. Talon in search of her first hit, and really the damage that has been done this weekend by Texas A&M has come at the top of the order with Kennedy Powell, and then Maya Perez hitting third.
Top of this lineup, all hitting above 400. I mean, just tough to get through.
This one hit weakly over to second. Daniel, a nice play on the move. One away.
It's a good job by Sierra Daniel. She was way out on the grass. She had to go a long way to get that.
Yeah, it felt like she was running for a minute, and there is what we were just talking about. I mean, 6 of the 11 RBIs this weekend.
Yeah, the rest of the team has been trying to play a little bit of catch up, and I think that's why you're going to see LSU not give Perez very much to hit. Intentionally walked her in the first inning.
And the ultimate sign of respect with the bases empty.
Well, there were a couple of times in game 1 and 2 where first base was open, runner at second, and they chose not to pitch around her. Like really around her. They tried to throw outside of the zone, and she proved that she can hit a ball or two off the plate. So now they are taking no chances. They're putting every one of these pitches in the right-handed batter's box.
And she can hit it out to all parts of the field. Maya Perez has seen 8 pitches tonight. All 4 have been well outside of the strike zone. And the third walk issued by Clopton. So the Aggies with a base runner, now a pinch runner comes in. So Ansley Gross standing at first base. And here's Michaela Wark. One away, top of the third inning in a 1-0 ball game. Game 3, LSU trying to avoid the sweep on a mic'd up Monday here at Tiger Park. And Wark's got plenty of power in her bat. We have seen that frequently this season.
10 home runs on the year. So between Perez and Wark, they have 50% of the home runs for this Texas A&M team.
It's a healthy combo at the top of the order for Tricia Ford. Tricia told us yesterday she was having some problems at our same hotel with the valet. This one taps in and out of the glove of Clopton, recovers in plenty of time. Advancing to second is Gross.
It looks like it may have gone off of her.
Oh, they're going to call it foul. Here's Coach Ford. She had no problems voicing those parking concerns with us, and then wouldn't you know, as we take another look, let's see.
You can see it change direction.
Right off the toe. 1-2. Fouled away. Michelle and I were getting ready to come over to the game today. All excited. Michelle's going to drive again, which is tremendous. We go out to her car, and it's booted up. Couldn't drive it. I'm like, okay, no problem, Michelle. I'll go get my car. I'll drive us over. We'll worry about this later. I go to my car. It's got a boot on it. $300 later, we're trying to figure out how to get the boot off.
And they're not cowboy boots.
The pass ball, and it gets away. That will allow Gross to get to second.
It's a good read by Gross.
Third pass ball of the year for Bergeron. Heads up base running, like you said, Michelle. Still trying to get past our parking issues.
And we both did pay for parking. And let's just.
Well, that's the whole other side of the story. Have your car booted when you actually paid for the parking.
You never know what's going to happen. You got to be able to bounce back.
We came in here on fire talking to producer and director. And a big-time strikeout, Clopton. Able to get Wark.
How about the energy from Tatum Clopton? I mean, she knew the gravity of this pitch, throwing that on the inner half. That is a massive strikeout to the number 4 hitter in this lineup with double-digit home run power. Huge second out of the inning.
First swing and miss for Texas A&M. It comes at a great time for Tatum Clopton. And Ariel Kowalewski, transfer from Florida. First pitch out of the zone, 55 deliveries in for Clopton, and this one swatted foul. I started talking about parking. All of a sudden unaware of a ball going off the toe that was foul, and just kind of gets you in a mess. But we survive, and we are here, and we're excited.
Thank goodness for Uber.
We Ubering back to the hotel afterwards?
I think we are. Someone wants to give us a ride. It's a long walk.
We'll find a way to get back. It's not too far. It's cold. Aggies at 19-8, 2-0 in the SEC. LSU at 0-5 in conference. 18-9 overall against that incredibly difficult slate. Wynn's going to blow this one back into foul territory, and there is Hodge. Every fly ball and adventure on a night like tonight in Baton Rouge. 1-0 LSU.
Lauren, give me your beads! Off your neck!
Alex Franklin needed the beads after the home run. Let's make sure that we get that taken care of, Michelle.
That's right. Hey, when you have protocol, ritual, you got to make sure it gets done.
Beth Torina, year number 15 here in Baton Rouge. Alex Franklin, home run number 2. Give LSU the lead here in Game 3. 9-1-2 will lead things off. Daniel Hodge and Jayla Lassiter. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And Daniel takes strike number 1, about 20 minutes away from sunset. I know, I'm just thinking back to your career. I know you would rather play when it's 95 degrees as opposed to this kind of weather. Like you liked it hot, maybe a little humidity.
Yes.
And just all of that stuff in the circle.
All of it.
Chop foul.
Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, so I was used to, at times, shoveling a little snow off the field to get some pitching practice in. But, you know, sometimes you acclimate to the warmer weather, and it's tough to get out in an environment like this. But you got to figure out a way to get it done. The right uniform, the right sleeves. You know, some pitchers don't like to throw in sleeves. There's all these little nuances. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions at times because, let's face it, during the course of a season, there's probably going to be a couple times you're going to be uncomfortable, and figuring out a way to work through those moments so that you can still be your best.
Ball and 2 strikes to Sierra Daniel. I just think the older I get, the more I enjoy the scalding hot weather. I don't know if that's a metabolism thing, or I don't really want to know what it is. I just like it warm, and I like calling softball better when it's warm.
Yeah, I think is this winner's last hurrah? I think
This
everybody's hoping for it.
It's the last punch. 1-2 on the way. Lessentine, the strikeout, and caught her looking.
It's a nice pitch on the outer half. Lessentine has done a good job of really finding big pitches when she has needed to. And Daniel in this 9-hole is a very good hitter. She turns the lineup over, but this is a pitch on the outer half that she just watches. Lessentine with another strikeout, first time through the order.
Back to Avery Hodge, was hit by a pitch in the first inning and later was picked off between first and second base. Second straight game, Hodge has been at the top of Beth Torino's order. First pitch on the inside edge.
And that's what Lessentine does very well. A lot of right-handed pitchers have difficulty throwing inside to lefties. That's a nice pitch coming down, a little bit of drop on that versus a curve that she'll throw way to righties. Boom, comes right back to that spot again. That is a pretty pitch, good movement, good downward break.
Refocused after giving up that home run to Franklin. And the rise stays upstairs. Ball and 2 strikes. Seven to 2 Saturday night in favor of Texas A&M. 3-2 last night for the Aggies. That win Saturday was their first win at Tiger Park since 2021. And there were some moments between these two programs too. Yesterday, Michelle, you picked it up before the rest of us, where there were some strikeouts and there was some waving that was occurring in the circle. Tapped over to second, in and out of the glove, and Hodge is aboard for the second time. Now Edwards was charging and felt the speed of the top of the LSU order, trying to get to the ball as quickly as possible.
Yeah, speed doesn't slump, but this is a tough play for Edwards because she is going to have to approach that ball, come in really hard on it. They're going to call it an error, but she's pulled in. She's got to come in and throw back behind her body. Just doesn't set it well on her glove. You can see the way that her head is up, so she's trying to set it in her glove as her glove comes forward, but it just comes off it. It's going to be the second error of the game now. Excuse me, first error of the game now. Second error of the series for Texas A&M.
Another good spot for Jayla Lassiter. Struck out in the first inning. A ball and no strikes here. 50 pitches in for Sydney Lessentine. Talked about how Ariel Kowalewski has been rock solid behind home plate, a true difference maker on the outside corner, 1 and 2. AK has yet to give up a stolen base or a pass ball this season. And only 3 runners have attempted to get to second base. Talk about a luxury for Tricia Ford, and going through 3 other options just to get to AK, and then to find what she can do after she caught a little bit at Florida.
Yeah, and not a lot. I mean, she played a lot of third base, a little bit of outfield, did not catch a lot, but she has been stellar behind the dish.
And the 2-2 from Lessentine, serve foul.
Continuing to work Lassiter on that outer half. Again, we talked about the shift that's been put in place by the outfielders for Texas A&M. Those lines still well open for Lassiter. If she can get that right here, if you can see that, if she can get it down that line, she has a long way to run.
A lot of real estate. Very tempting to try to send it that direction.
Well, what Lessentine's doing a really good job of is she's dropped off the velocity on that off-speed pitch. She's back down to 58 miles an hour. When it was a little bit more towards 60, there was a lot more of it put in play. So I like the way that she's making adjustments mid-game here. There's another good look at that outfield.
I mean, they are bunched up.
Yes.
Towards center. It's amazing. Lessentine just missed already with 4 strikeouts, was in search of number 5 there. It's a nervy take by Lassiter. Hodge aboard on the E4 moments ago. Hodge
running on the pitch.
Was off to the races, and it's fouled away again.
Yeah, and I like that. You know, even though there's not 2 outs, I like the fact they're going to put her in motion. They have to try to do something. As we mentioned, that's been the one area they've had a hard time in this series, is really advancing runners, getting into scoring position.
Well, the wind continuing to gust over 30 miles an hour. It has picked up velocity last inning or so. Hodge takes off again. AK with the toss, and not in time. Avery Hodge, her 3rd stolen base of the season. And the strikeout now with 2 away, but Hodge in scoring position.
Well, so close to the strike him out, throw him out. This is the pitch on the outer half. Nice throw down by AK, but a really good jump by Hodge, running on that 3-2 count.
Well, the first time Kowalewski has given up a stolen base this season for the Aggies. Here's Bergeron. Five strikeouts now for Lessentine. 2 straight out of the zone to Bergeron here. Notre Dame High School here in Rayne, Louisiana. All SEC second-team performer a year ago. A 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state. This one off a bounce, and then it's kicked into foul territory.
And
coming around is Hodge.
And you can see immediately the umpire called a safe signal because it did hit the ground. It got past a defender, and once it's past a defender, you are no longer in jeopardy of being hit by the ball and being called out. I think they're going to get together and talk about it a little bit, though.
Well, there were 3 players all right around the ball when it was kicked by Hodge after the initial bounce, after it was not caught cleanly.
So it's played on by Powell. And because of it being played on, and then it goes off of Hodge.
You just don't see a play like that too often.
It's a great part of the diamond sports. You know, every day you show up, you're going to see something different that you don't always see every day.
Indeed. And our 3 umpires, Terry Holt, Mike Burwell, and Kevin Condor, meeting between second and first. Hodge is ready to see a 2 put up on the scoreboard here. Tarina and Bryce Neal looking on from the LSU dugout. As is Coach Ford for the Aggies. A big moment in this one.
Yeah. I think it's, this is where it comes down to judgment call. The umpires, did the defense for Texas A&M have the opportunity to make a play on the batted ball? And I think the umpire, when he gave the safe call, he was assuming that they had the opportunity. So he's going to talk to both the coaches now.
Well, the unique component of that play, A, it was kicked, but B, there were two defenders right there, one in front of Hodge and the other behind her with Powell and DeMint. You wonder if it's a dead ball after it was kicked. In a very unusual sequence, and we'll get the ruling.
After discussion, we have interference by the runner at second base. She's out.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
that is a massive call. So instead of a 2-0 LSU advantage, we're talking about the third and final out of the inning.
Wow.
And Hodge is ruled out due to interference. And the kick into foul territory.
Yeah, the question is, did it go off the glove? Did it not go off the glove? It's hard to see. Off the leg, and they call it out.
Back in Baton Rouge, a chilly Monday evening, 1-0 LSU leading Texas A&M. The Aggies going for the sweep at Tiger Park. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, joined by the head coach at Texas A&M, Tricia Ford. Coach, walk us through that last sequence and what you were told, because it appeared as if Kennedy Powell had a chance, KK DeMint right behind her, and then we find out it's out number 3.
Yeah, I think it was the right call, to be honest with you. KK had a chance on the ball. It's just like KP dove for the ball. She didn't make any contact with the ball. Then the ball hit the base runner, which is interference. So, yeah.
All right, Coach, and a little bit about your Sydneys. Both of them have done very well in this series today. What do you like what Lesentina has been able to do for you so far?
Yeah, I think she's doing a good job. She's keeping this, LSU offense off balance. Obviously we gave up one hit, but, and it was a big hit. But I think, she settled back in, and that's the name of the game. You're going to make mistakes, and it's all about how you respond. I thought she's responded well, and I thought Peters did a tremendous job yesterday.
Coach, stay warm. Best of luck rest of the way.
Yeah, you can hear my teeth chattering. Yeah.
Thanks,
Gig
Coach.
'em.
She told us during the break she does not like the cold.
No.
And at times, just like you and I, it makes her angry.
Yes.
We can certainly understand. All right, so the key moment, it feels like, in that play that we all just watched, and that's one of the stranger plays that I think I've seen calling softball over the years, was the fact that when Kennedy Powell made the diving attempt, there was no contact with the ball by the glove based off what we could see. So, by rule, when there was contact with the base runner, Avery Hodge, at that point in time, she is ruled out.
Right, so that was the explanation the umpires gave coaches.
DeMint pops it up left side, and Hodge, what you know, makes the play. Well, the ball has a way of finding you. Avery's been involved in a number of wild pop-ups today in foul territory, and that breeze has helped keep some balls in play this evening. So Bergeron, too, was awarded a single.
Right.
On the ball that touched Avery Hodge.
So that's always the crazy part of that play, is that when you do hit one of your teammates, you do get a base hit, even though your teammate is out.
The interference plays with Diamond Sports I always find fascinating, and they always seem to surprise me with the final determination many times. Impressive that the umpiring crew got all of that correct without having to go and revisit that scenario. Mathis sends it back foul. 0-2. Did you have good relationships with the umpires back in the day?
As long as they were calling strikes for me when I was pitching, of course I did. No, absolutely. You know, it's a tough job. It's a thankless job because someone's always going to be upset in those really close calls.
It is a thankless
It is.
occupation.
It is very, very difficult. And, you know, that last play was a perfect example of it, and that's why, you know, the third base umpire, Kevin Condor, he called the safe call because his assumption was that A&M's defense had the opportunity to make the play on it, but that's why they get together. And that's what I like about it, you know, wanting to get the call correct, coming together to make sure and talk about it.
Kelsey Mathis, 2 for 6. First 2+ games. Count evens up at 2-2. I'm sure Beth Torina's perspective on that perhaps would be a little bit different,
yes,
given the magnitude, because
100%.
that could have been a 2-0 score, which so far tonight, a 2-0 or 2-run advantage would seem to be rather large given what we've seen.
Well, that's a scenario too. You got to go back and reread the rule. If it touches a player versus an ability to make a play on the ball. And it's all in the wording of those rules of the umpires. Excuse me, of the rule book.
Tatum Clopton. Impressive start tonight in the circle for LSU, and that continues with a strikeout. Her second of the game.
I like the energy she's bringing, the leadership in that circle. And she's got good velocity and really hammers this pitch on the inner half. Mathis looking on the outer half and just fools her.
4 in a row now retired by Clopton. Here's Allen.
I talked with Clopton yesterday. She was mentioning, you know, she's finally back healthy. She had labrum surgery a couple years ago. Unfortunately, a piece of metal was left in her shoulder, so she had to have a second surgery to have that removed. She's now back where she's throwing pain-free. So it was just great to really talk with her about how happy she is just to be able to be back in her senior campaign in a position to be able to help this team out.
Oh, 1-1 for Texas A&M, 2-1 for LSU tonight. Sophomore out of Louisville, Texas, takes low. And Clopton having to work against Paisley Allen, who's been brilliant in left field this weekend. Trying to warm up at the plate tonight. Pitch number 75. And a fly ball to left center on the run. And Lawrence able to track it down. 1-0 LSU. We'll touch base with the Tigers head coach, Beth Torina, after this. Advantage LSU with Michelle Smith. I'm Roy Philpott, the head coach of the Tigers. Beth Torina joins us now. Coach, anxious to get your perspective on what could have been a second run scored by Avery Hodge moments ago. What were you told and what did you see?
The plate umpire called interference because we thought it might have deflected off the third baseman. You tell me, did it deflect off of the
It did not. She had a chance, but it never grazed her glove. Okay, just making sure.
My argument wasn't valid. I hope they would leave it the way the other umpire called it and force Texas A&M to go to a challenge. That's kind of what I had hoped for, but that's not how it worked out. So, I just gave him my perspective. He didn't love it, so maybe next time I won't,
Always difficult plays on those situations to make a call. Coach, what's not difficult, though, is seeing how well Tatum is doing in the circle for you tonight. What has she worked on? I know she's finally healthy. She's pain-free. Spoke with her yesterday. What do you love about the senior for you?
Yeah, she's just a special one. We call her the grandma a lot. She doesn't like that, but but she's just been around for so long, and just has done so many cool things. She's a great leader. She's fun, right? She's quirky. She reads a lot. She does a lot of cool things. I mean, she's just fun to be around, and she's worked so hard. What a story! My gosh, what a story she has to tell, and I'm proud too to be out here watching her tell her story.
Well, Coach, you've been great tonight and a lot of fun listening for a Mic'd Up Monday. Thank you for that. Best of luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
Where are those beads? We're still searching down in the dugout for Alex Franklin.
Where are they? It's great to hear her talk about the seniors that have worked so hard and come through so much and have their story to tell and opportunity to do great things for this program.
Well, she knows how important this game is tonight. Trying to get 1 out of the 3 after the Aggies stormed into Baton Rouge. 1-7-2 on Saturday, 3-2 last night. And for the record, they did change the Bergeron AB from a hit to a fielder's choice. So, for complete clarification for those that are scoring at home, and we trust that all of you are, that is where we are. It's fun to get the real-time reaction of both coaches.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a great time to have a play like that at any, in any stretch during the game, but to have it occur right before we spoke to Tricia Ford and Beth Torina, good for our broadcast tonight.
Yeah, and just to button this up, I'm pretty sure the decision was made on, was there an opportunity for a remaining defensive player to make a play, and I'm sure that's the decision. So even though the third baseman had made a play, they still thought there was an opportunity for the shortstop, KK Dement, to be able to make a play on that ball. So we'll button that up and move forward.
Well played by you, as I would expect. And that final replay, I would agree with the assessment, which can be subjective in nature when there are 2 defenders sandwiched around the base runner, but not inherently obvious upon first review.
Right. And so it does take a run off the board, but more importantly, it also would have been a situation where someone would have been on base for Edwards here now in the box, their big home run hitter.
Edwards, massive shot to left field last night, was swinging away there on the 2-2. Well, she's just waiting to ignite. We remember last year and everything that happened, and Michelle, you and I have talked about it coming into this weekend. The numbers as an All-American performer, first-team All-SEC, were astonishing.
Yeah, the home runs, 18 as a freshman, 73 RBI, which is one of the tops in the country. And again, she's the one circled in this lineup. Don't let her beat you. And so she's in that tough position as a sophomore now. They study you. They look to see if you have holes in your swing. They try to get you to chase pitches out of the zone, frustrate you.
Payoff pitch, less than 10. 3 hops over, deep in the hole is short, and Dement delivers. Nothing easy about that play.
KK Dement, just herself stormed on the scene last year as a freshman in that shortstop position, and she's just so good. This ball is well struck, and she plays it perfectly, goes down to her knee, but has that strong arm to be able to come up and fire across the infield. Really good defense by KK DeMent.
It got there quickly, that second bounce. Change up, and it's 0-1. Lessentine delivers a first pitch strike to Lawrence.
Lessentine definitely mixing a lot more here. Second time through the lineup.
Tapped foul.
This is where Lessentine has really buttoned up things last year. Very good, but also this year, ability to throw in a lot of different directions and mix speeds, work from ahead. It's 8 walks given up on the year. Check that. Just 7 walks given up on the year.
One tonight that came back in the second. This one will sneak through into right field. And Lorenz a big turnaround first. Retreats back quickly with the knock into right. Well, on a mic'd up Monday, a lot of excitement for Beth Torina after that home run by our next batter, Alex Franklin.
So.
Second of the season, and it comes in a very important time, in a very important game. Tigers trying to secure their first SEC win of this young season, and Franklin counting for the only offense of the evening. One away with the runner at first.
Look at how the defense is playing that. Warwick stays back. Lessentine looks like she's going to pop out of the circle. Powell from third base is going to come down the line.
Boy, Franklin right now oozing confidence. You can see her kind of bopping to the music after delivering that home run, her last AB. And let's see what happens here. Time is called. Bryce Neal pops out of the dugout. The hitting coach for the Tigers with a conversation, and LSU love a couple of insurance runs as we get a little deeper into this game 3. Michelle, is this the time where LSU maybe wants to be a little bit more aggressive in its approach?
Yeah, I think they need to try to get runners in motion. I think that's the one part that they haven't tried to really stir the infield for Texas A&M, and they're in a leveraged count at this situation. Charlotte Lorenz ended up getting her base hit on an 0-2 count, so a mistake by Lessentine to be that close to the zone and give up the hit, but now Franklin ahead 2-0.
Runner goes back to the circle. Can they get the lead at second? Yes. Lessentine delivers a strike on the first base side of second, and that was a critical component to that throw.
Absolutely, and that's why you want to get your runners in motion, because you have a tight play like that, and it also gives you the ability potentially not to be doubled up. And so you can see she's on the move, but Lessentine plays this very, very well. Throw coming into DeMent, and it's tight. It's a close call at second.
Out number 2. Lessentine a winner, and demonstrating that tonight with the strikeouts this weekend, with the win and the save, and then with a play like that.
It's huge. Fielding, good fielding pitchers makes your job a lot easier in that circle.
0-1 to Edwards into center field. That'll drop for a knock.
And that's why you always get the lead runner, because that right there saves a run. It keeps it off the board because Lessentine was able to get the lead runner, and Charlotte Lorenz And so when you have to go station to station, it's so much more difficult to score. Great job by Edwards to go down and get this pitch low and outside off the end of the bat, but just puts it out on the green. Gets herself a base hit.
Second time today that Kylie Edwards has reached second hit of the weekend. And Ciela Pickett is the batter, a chance to extend this LSU lead. 1 for 4 in her first 2 games. Mentioned her big at-bats late last night. Perhaps some confidence gleaned for her, batting 8th. You talked about it, Michelle, and you could sense the importance of what she was able to do. 3-2 loss. Curve is low.
Well, it was her hit off of Sydney Peters that chased Peters. Had to bring in Lessentine to close out that game.
Franklin at second, Edwards at first. 2 away in the 2-0. Filthy.
Well, that's where Sydney Lessentine is just so good. So that's a 2-0 count, but puts the ball on that's a great pitcher's pitch, puts the ball on the corners, and this is again the bugaboo we've talked about for LSU, the situational hitting, runners in scoring position. In fact, both of the teams here tonight have been unproductive with runners in scoring position. 0 for 5 for Texas A&M, 0 for 2 for LSU. LSU coming in was 2 for 9 and RISP.
Fought that one off. Over to second, bobble, the throw, not in time, and a run scores. LSU manufacturing offense here. Franklin celebrating, jumping up and down to make it 2-0.
So Talon Edwards at second base. We'll take a look at where she's going to be starting. So she's way over here in the slow roller, has a hard time getting to this, a slow developing play. And with the speed of Pickett getting down the line, that's still something she needs to get to a little bit quicker, field that, get her body behind it, just not able to scoop it over. Another big run up on the board for LSU.
And Franklin never hesitating. And her energy contagious tonight for the Tigers. So Lorenz single to start this for LSU. Edwards able to reach. Franklin able to score after she got aboard on the fielder's choice. So a base hit and an E4 makes it 2-0.
Second error of the night on Edwards.
Second baseman number 23, Sierra Daniel.
And the Tigers are not done yet. Runners at the corners. Edwards over at third base, flying around. And Pickett now at first for Sierra Daniel. Squares to bunt. And now they'll try to get it back home. It's not in time. Well, the attempted double steal, and Edwards able to score to make it 3-0.
Yeah, and that is a play that they're running where that you are baiting that throw down. So AK, the catcher, they're baiting her to throw down. You can see the way that Pickett's going to come here, and she's going to stop. That's going to give her teammate Edwards, who has a lot of speed at third, as soon as she sees that throw go, and there is no cut, because KK Dement, the shortstop, is coming behind to third. Edwards is taking the throw all the way down to second, so with no cut, they recognize that, they come home.
Well, what a job by the Tigers in this inning, finding a way. 2 have crossed home plate. And I don't know that we've really seen a hard hit ball in the last 2 frames for the Tigers. They've found a way to score twice.
Well, we mentioned it, right? What does LSU need to do? They need to put the defense in motion, and they've done that. They've pressed that accelerator a little bit more, trying to force Texas A&M to make some plays on LSU, and they've been able to capitalize, put a couple of runs up on the board here in the bottom of the fourth.
And 2 unearned runs after Edwards stole home. Things started to get a little weird on the interference on Hodge, and we've been trending down that road since then. And the change settles in to make the count full. Lessentine already at 85 pitches. We've seen her in all 3 games this weekend. And Daniel stays alive. Well, Franklin had that look about her too. We talked about it. She stepped out of the batter's box and igniting another scoring inning for LSU tonight. Three-two and a called strike 3, and that'll end it. The damage is done. LSU with a pair of unearned runs, and the Tigers extend their lead to 3-0. Franklin made it 1-0 early and her second home run of the season. Then, well, things started to get a little weird. Interference call, Avery Hodge kicked it into foul territory. Michelle, that took a run off the board, but in the 4th inning, here comes LSU.
LSU making and taking advantage of a defensive miscue, so a base hit and an error by Talon Edwards at that second base position is going to plate another run, and then a double steal allows Edwards to come home. Well, it was technically not a double steal. It was the start of a steal that allowed Edwards to come home. And so 2 of the 3 runs for LSU are unearned, but they're getting runs up on the board, and that's the big part of Roy that we haven't seen them really be able to do productively in games 1 and 2 of the series.
And the strategy of not giving anything to Maya Perez to be able to hit tonight in 2 plate appearances has been significant, with Tatum Clopton obviously pitching very well in the circle.
Very well in the circle, and you have to pick your battles, especially with a very good offensive team like Texas A&M. You've got to make somebody else beat you after Maya Perez has beat them in game 1 and 2.
Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, Frankie Vrajel is responsible for the lone Aggie hit. You and I were kind of chatting during that last commercial break, and I looked at you and suggested, A&M I feel like still has that punch in it, and to your credit, you said, well, really haven't started punching yet, right? And that's what it feels like so far.
This is a team that has a lot of different tools in the toolbox, just waiting to take them out. But, again, credit to Tatum Clopton. She has been efficient. She's worked around a couple of intentional walks of Perez and 1 to AK.
And we talked with Beth Torina in game about her coming back from the multiple shoulder surgeries. Really incredible. And coach said she's just happy to be a part of that story. And the comeback for number 18. This one slap foul. 2-2.
Well, the other, part of this story too for Clopton is that, this game started on an error off the right fielder that put a runner to put Kennedy Powell at second base, and she was able to hold on, get out of a bases loaded jam in that first inning, not allow Texas A&M to get on the board, and that set the tone. She's been working hard. The defense has cleaned up behind her.
And Clopton with the strikeout, and had something to say afterwards. Emotions running high here in game 3.
Yeah, and Tatum Clopton is not going to have a ton of strikeouts, but she is putting the ball on the corner. She's been efficient. Nice pitch on the outer half, and just gets Razzle to swing through that. 3rd strikeout of the game for Clopton.
Back to the top of the order, Kennedy Powell. Now Kennedy, as you mentioned, reached on the error by Franklin in right field. was standing at second base with nobody out in the top of the first inning. It felt like here we go again, deja vu for the Aggies this weekend in Baton Rouge. This one into left field, second hit of the night, and Powell is aboard. And we talked about her on base streak now at 31. And here come the Aggies.
Powell just has such great bat control. That is a pitch that is off the zone. That's a good pitcher's pitch, but she just catches it with the barrel. Look at the way she's just going to catch that ball with the barrel of the bat. She's not going to overswing. She knows that's a single pitch, right? She's not trying to hit a home run on a pitch that basically is a single. She just pokes that into the outfield, gets herself on base.
First hit since the second inning for A&M. Talon Edwards, the hitter. 2 errors at second base tonight. Love to atone right here and right now with Powell at first. And should Texas A&M be aggressive? We know Kennedy Powell and her speed. 14 stolen bags this year. But down 3. Chops out of the glove of the first baseman Edwards, and everybody's safe. Well, the Aggies got something cooking now with runners at first and second and just 1 away.
Well, we talked about the defense. Just that error in the first inning, but then that one off of the glove of Edwards. That is the 6th error of the series for LSU.
Maya Perez tonight, 2 plate appearances, has yet to see a striker anything close to the plate.
Yeah, and now here's the predicament for LSU is that do you walk her to walk the bases loaded, or do you pitch to her? I still think at this point you can try to pitch around her. You have to make sure that you are keeping the ball at least 2 ball lengths off of the plate.
Let's have a shot of the center field flags representing every team in the SEC.
Yeah.
Because if it's just an inch or 2 off the plate and Maya Perez makes any kind of contact the way that she has barreled up balls this weekend,
yeah,
it's going to be tied at 3.
Absolutely. So, you know, there is the question for LSU. The hard decision they have to make is, do they still walk her, which they've done this game?
What would you do?
I would probably walk her, and I would make Work or Kowalewski beat me.
Big moment in this one. Down 3, top of the 5th. Perez has homered in 4 of her last 5. Clopton delivers outside again. And I think we're understanding the answer to the question.
6 of the teams, 10 RBIs. She's hitting .833 in this series.
Is that good?
That's kind of good. I think your hand is forced. And so you force the hand of the opposition and make somebody else beat you.
Michaela Wark in the on-deck circle. And she's about to bat with the bases loaded. No, I agree with you. I don't know how you would allow Perez to have anything to swing at. The same area code as home plate.
Well, the other decision that I think is now in play is, where do you put your defense now with bases loaded, 1 out? I would play deep. Work is right-handed. I would try to roll a ground ball somewhere up the middle, turn a 6-4-3 double play, just something to have the opportunity. They've already pinch run for once for Perez, so she's got to stay in the game. So I think at this point you just try to get your defense in a position to turn a double play to get out of the jam.
Aggies hitting a robust .552 with the bases loaded this season. They're jam-packed for Wark, and a first pitch strike settles in. Tying run aboard, just one away. Wark, a healthy swing down the left field line. Ballpark will hold it, and the sac fly in play to make it 3-1. So a productive AB for Michaela Wark. Coming home to score is Kennedy Powell. The wind couldn't quite carry that one deep enough. And Lawrence had it played well. Now runners at first and second. Kowalewski. When it feels like the LSU defense can take a deep breath after that plate appearance by Wark. .370 on the year for Ariel Kowalewski, who's starting catcher for head coach Tricia Ford. Over to first base, and Edwards steps on the bag, and LSU escapes. Beth Torina's team a 2-run lead. Home half of the 5th inning coming up. Incredible softball games throughout the course of the SEC's regular season. The NCAA Women's Tournament underway beginning later this week. And of course, to watch all of that, the app, your one-stop shop. You log in, you get it done, and you are good to go as always. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, Texas A&M gets a run back to make it 3-1. And a brand new game and a brand new pitcher in the circle in Kate Munnerlyn.
Munnerlyn threw 2.2 innings in game 1, 44 pitches, gave up just 1 run.
Aggie infield is in for Avery Hodge, who has reached, being hit by a pitch in the first and on the E4 in the 3rd inning. Game that has featured a little bit of everything, and here comes Tricia Ford out of the dugout. Well, you know, when you flip through the channels and you land here on SEC Network and you see the head coach come out and she's got on the winter parka.
Yeah.
You don't need us to remind you of how chilly and windy it is down the playing surface at Tiger Park.
Yeah, this is always a park that is typically more friendly to pitchers than it is to hitters. Hard to get the ball out of the park, except for obviously when it is blowing as it is here with the flags blowing straight out. Typically it's blowing the straight in. 48 degrees.
I was going to say, it says it's 48.
Yeah.
It was 48 when we got here. It's a little colder than that now.
Yeah.
The problem is when you go from 80 degrees yesterday to 48 today, it feels like it's -10.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Hodge has done what Beth Torina has asked of her coming up to the top of the order. It hasn't necessarily been in a conventional way. It's not how you drive, it's how you arrive. She has arrived on base twice already.
Well, that's the key in that leadoff position, is just figure out a way to get on.
Change in strategy tonight, too, for LSU. Being very careful with Maya Perez. That has paid dividends. 2-2 the count. And Munnerlyn battling back here.
Yeah, Munnerlyn has really good upspin, but it's her changeup in any count. It's a knee buckler. She'll throw it ahead. She'll throw it behind.
And offering that time, the appeal down to third. She did go. And a strikeout for Munnerlyn.
Well, that's the pitch. It's just so hard to see out of the lefty's hand. So she's going to be in the mid-60s, but it's that changeup in any count that really sets up all her other pitches. She's got that rise ball, but more than likely not going to see that a ton tonight with that wind blowing out. It's more so going to be about that changeup and keeping LSU off balance.
I'm surprised the wind hasn't played a bigger role maybe in Some home runs being hit here tonight at Tiger Park.
Well, most of the pitchers have been keeping the ball low in the zone, right? But Lessentine and Clopton have done a good job of working the lower half of the zone, knowing that anything that's elevated is potentially going to leave the park. And the off-speed pitch has been big tonight, especially it's game 3 of the series. You've seen, the opposing pitching staff quite a bit.
Lassiter, 2-1. Jalen Search of her first hit this week and struck out a couple of times tonight. And moving down a spot in the order. Well, she has been the table setter as she has gone, so has LSU this year. On the inner edge, 2-2.
Kate doing a good job of using that hard stuff, but keeping it well located at the lower part of the zone.
To short, Dement up with it quickly on the hot shot in time. Well, some fancy glove work by 16 in the gray and maroon tonight.
Kate Gay just able to get to this ball. I think it surprised her too, the way it kind of popped up a little bit to her left side, glove side, and a nice throwing stroke across the infield to kill her work at first.
Yeah, the delivery tonight, the arm strength, has been eye-popping. Bergeron, the batter, and quickly 2 away. And Macy tonight 0 for 2. Mic'd up Monday. It's been fun to hear Beth Torina get excited down there in the LSU dugout. She was fun to talk to again this week, despite the tough series up in Knoxville last weekend. Always optimistic and feeling like her team is ready to take that next step. That next step is securing their first SEC win. Munnerlyn just missed.
The margin of error is razor thin in the SEC. You've got to do everything right. You've got to have clean defense. You've got to take the extra 60 feet, be aggressive on the base paths, and you have to hit situationally. And I think when you start seeing teams that can barrel up balls with runners in scoring position, move and have productive outs, move their teammates up, those are the teams that have a tendency to score more runs.
3 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 5th. Ground out by Lassiter. Hodge struck out. And now a 2-out walk issued. Bergeron. And perhaps a big moment here as Tori Edwards get a chance to hit with a runner at first base. Texas native against the Aggies tonight. First team All-SEC a year ago. And off a hop, Edwards unable to field it cleanly. It's been that kind of night over at second base.
Talon Edwards, typically a very strong glove, but transferring over from Oklahoma State where she played third base the majority of her career, now in that second base position, the ball just comes off a little bit differently, and this is a little bit of a jam job, but because Edwards is so strong, she's going to get this a hard shot, but that is definitely a ball that you typically will see Talon Edwards come up with.
Pinch runner comes in scoring position now, and Maddox McKee. And McKee trying to extend this LSU lead. She's able to be brought home by Char Lorenz. Got Edwards over at first base, and here we go. Tigers by 2. We're going to give Edwards a base hit. Ball and a strike. Chilly day, a chilly evening here. Was trying to walk around the river earlier today and went outside. It was too cold even to walk around. I didn't see anybody else trying to do it either. I didn't even bring the pullover like you have tonight. That's props to you for anticipating Old Man Winter making his triumphant return here. Weather wreaking havoc across many parts of the country. 3-1 to count. And LSU fighting back tonight.
Ends with that base hit on a 0-2 count. Her last at bat, the 4th. That was off of some time and opportunity here off of Cape Cumberland to try to do some more damage, get a run back on the board for LSU.
Fly ball deep left field. Back is Allen against the wall, and she brings it back in.
Wow. How about Paisley Allen going back to the wall? She finds the wall, finds the ball, keeps it in the yard, reaching up at the perfect time and celebrating with their teammates getting out of a big jam.
Last undefeated D1 program, 30 wins in a row to start 2026. Awfully impressive. And some big news being made with Texas Tech coming back against Arizona. And then how about Duke taking a series against Virginia Tech? You mentioned to me during the break, too, Michelle, that Grand Canyon's next opponent
is Oklahoma State.
Okay, so let's see what happens there.
Yeah, a big game tomorrow for both those clubs.
Oh, back here at Tiger Park, top of the 6th inning. And 3-1 our score. LSU with the lead. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up first for the Aggies. KK DeMent after the incredible catch moments ago by Paisley Allen. Of course, we will see her third in this frame. I'm not sure how the ballpark held that fly ball.
Wow, I know.
I mean, off the bat, it felt like it was long gone to make it 6-1.
Well, especially because we've been talking about the wind blowing out, and it still is blowing out. So it's just incredible.
I think yesterday with the wind that was blowing towards left field, it certainly would have been exit stage left. Tatum Clopton continues to deal tonight. And DeMent strikes out. Well, officially the longest outing of the season for Clopton. And approaching 100 pitches, that is the most of the year as well.
Now, she has been very good underneath the hands of the righties. That drop ball just falling off the table. It's well located on the corner. It's got good bite down. Missing barrels tonight, Tatum Clopton.
Here's Mathis. 4 strikeouts now for Clopton.
And those strikeouts, the 3rd, 4th, 5th here in the 6th, so 1 in each of the last 4 innings.
Good games this weekend. Had some tense moments in the bottom of the 7th last night and a 1-run win for the Aggies. And Mathis sends it up on the right side. Falling down is Daniel.
Some of those high pops are tough to keep a read on.
Clopped it.
And that ball has a long time to come down. And so trust me, you know that as a fielder, when that ball is wiggling as it's coming down. Good job of keeping your eyes open and your feet moving.
Kylie Edwards was going to catch her. She was trying to make sure she was going to cushion the fall there by her second baseman. And Sierra, A-OK. 100 pitches tonight. Tatum clocked it. And here's Paisley Allen, who kept this 2-run deficit at 2 with that catch at the wall. And she made a number of nice plays yesterday.
Yes.
We talked about the shades on for a moment. Fly ball, deep right center. Ballpark will hold it. Lassiter corrals it, and a 9-pitch frame for Tatum Clopton. Tigers, a 2-run lead. Ups on the horizon, and we cannot wait. Texas Tech, Florida State, and Tallahassee coming up over on ACC Network Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern. Star power there, and with number 1 Tennessee in a top 10 showdown against Florida on March 22nd, ESPN2. Michelle, you and I will be back here at Tiger Park for Oklahoma coming to town. The big bats for the Hall of Famer Patty Gasso. Texas A&M and Texas, need we say more, at the end of the month as well.
Some great spicy matchups. We've had a little spice in this one as well. Yeah, these programs, they know each other.
Chilly night in Baton Rouge. Great start to the SEC softball season. 2-run advantage for the home team. Alex Franklin would like to add to that tally for the Tigers. And she has been really the ignition in this LSU offensive attack tonight. Finding ways to manufacture a run, and then with that home run that started the scoring way back in the second inning this evening. She's had a confidence about her that we've noticed.
Yeah, there's a lot of fight from this LSU team. They know it. They've got to scrap to be able to, try to pick up a win here in Game 3. And there's, it's like most of these SEC, battles. There's not a lot of love lost. Yeah, here's a little bit of the spice that we're talking about. Yesterday afternoon, a couple of strikeouts from Cece, and she's waving them on. She's saying goodbye to the batter. A little bit of wave, and then how about Talon Edwards, last out of the game, waving goodbye to LSU.
I mean, that was an extended wave in the circle there to start, right? I mean, it's a flip of the hand, and then it's the bye-bye. Like, there's a little NC tapped on the end of that after the initial hand gesture.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Well, they know. They're talking to each other. They're not giving the too little, but, they're giving the wave.
Yes. It's Kylie Edwards. I mean, petty is part of what makes sports fun.
Yeah. A little gamesmanship back and forth.
Kylie tonight walked in the second inning and a base hit her last time up. Second strikeout for Munnerlyn of Franklin here in the bottom of the 6th. No, just seeing some of those matchups coming up. There's a lot to be excited about in this conference again.
A lot more spice to come, right?
Yes.
A lot more of everybody battling, understanding the importance of even just one win. How difficult it is to sweep a series.
Very well said. How difficult it is to pay for parking without getting your car booted here, too. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I was just thinking that.
I was finally starting to calm down.
Edwards thought it was ball 4, and now Munnerlyn battles back. production team back in the control room. Her great sense of humor showing us a booted car somewhere here in Baton Rouge moments ago during one of the breaks. Scott Epstein and Tyler Honeycutt, a fantastic job as always. And there's ball 4 for Edwards. She'll trot down to first base with one away. Tigers trying to salvage this final game of a 3-game set. Trying to tack on an insurance run or two in the process. A&M 6-4 under Tricia Ford when heading into a game 3 of a potential series sweep. And the Aggies have never swept LSU here in Baton Rouge in their history. Shot by Pickett in deep right field. Going back and unable to make the grab is Brajel. And runners now at first and second. And that was nearly a home run for Ciela Pickett. That would have been her first. It's maybe the longest single you'll see this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way Edwards at first, as the runner played this, she went back all the way to the bag. You can see that Pickett gets all into this ball, drives it hard the opposite way. Good power by the freshman. Gets this elevated. It looks like the wind might take it out, but it doesn't. It goes off the glove of Brazel and is going to go off the wall. Really good job as a backup play, and it ends up holding LSU to just first and second, not allowing Edwards to move up to third.
Yeah, Kelsey Mathis was right there ready and waiting. And now it is time for Sierra Daniel. Tigers 1 for 4 with a runner in scoring position tonight. And this one sent foul right in the front of the batter's box. And tonight the Tigers have answered the bell offensively.
Yeah, almost as many hits tonight as they had in the first 2 games of the series. Plating 3 runs.
Outside to even the count. Tigers with only 3 sack bunts this season. Daniel would love to get it back to the top of the order with Hodge and Lassiter potentially up next. This one hits softly into no man's land. That'll get down for a hit. LSU's got him loaded. Well, Edwards just trying to get over there. Thought maybe for a second she was going to.
Tricia Ford's going to come out and talk with their defense, and Munnerlyn, these are big ducks on the pond here. Texas A&M needs to try to keep the score where it's at here in the bottom of the 6th inning, knowing that they already have to plate a couple runs in the 7th to extend this game.
So it's back to the top of the order. And LSU will send Avery Hodge up to bat. Tigers with the 1 grand slam this year. It was from Avery Hodge. She's been in this moment before and succeeded. Wheels turning in both dugouts.
Yeah. Looked like Texas A&M potentially was. It looks like Sydney Peters is up in the pen.
And Munnerlyn back in the circle for now. Infield is in. And a first pitch just off the plate to Avery Hodge. Edwards at third, Pickett at second, Daniel at first base for the Tigers. Hodge has reached twice, struck out her last time up. Munnerlyn wanted strike 1 there. did not get the call.
Goes on the outer half of the curveball, does not get the call. Comes back underneath the hands, slightly off the plate, doesn't get the call.
It's number 37 from Kate. And now 3-0.
Wow, and I think Motherland is wondering where that pitch was. That last pitch looked like it was right on the outer half, maybe a little bit high.
Burwell writing something down after that quick meeting and exchange in the circle. Marlin back at it. 3-1. Free pass here makes it a 4-1 score. Aggies running out of outs. And now a full count.
A couple of nice pitches by Kate Motherland to get back to full here.
Aggies escape with Paisley Allen over in left field in the last inning. What about now? And now a bases loaded walk. Not as fortunate. Coming home is Kylie Edwards. And the RBI to Avery Hodge. 6 of the season makes it 4-1.
Second walk of the inning issued.
And with only one away, Tricia Ford out of the A&M dugout. And a pitching change will be made. Grace Sparks checks in. We'll tell you more about her for Texas A&M when we return. Texas A&M Crosby High School and Dayton, Texas. And the third Aggies pitcher we have seen for head coach Tricia Ford this evening.
Yeah, Coach Ford calls Grace Sparks a ground ball specialist. So we're going to try to roll some ground balls here and get some outs to get out of this jam.
4-1 LSU. Kate Mutterland back in the Aggies dugout. And the bases remain loaded. Got Hodge, Daniel, and Pickett. Around the horn we go. Beth Torina's team has bounced back in a big way tonight. Hard to get a sweep in the SEC. We certainly understand that, but give credit for LSU. After some early struggles, even here in Game 3, they have found a way so far.
Yeah, they've had a little more energy. They've moved Texas A&M around, induced some ground balls, which they did not in Game 1 and 2. A lot of their outs were strikeouts and fly ball outs. Done a better job of hitting the ball on the ground and moving their teammates up, productive outs.
Jayla Lassiter, 0 for 3 tonight. And a pinch runner at third base, Destiny Harris for LSU. And here's Lassiter. Aggies infield comes in. Lassiter takes low and away. The strike zone hasn't gotten any bigger in this frame. Just a humble observation.
Yes. Working hard to get those strikes, get those calls.
Simply observing what I see. That one clearly up high.
Yeah, and this is an LSU team. We talked about their ability to walk. Coming into today's game, they had 137 walks. How about with the bases loaded? They have walked 13 times to just 9 hits with those bases loaded.
3-1 to Lassiter. 9 hits and 13 free passes so far this year with those bases juice. Outside for ball 4, Lassiter.
Wow.
An RBI on the walk.
Yeah, and to make that 14 walks now with the bases loaded for LSU.
Station to station we go. Harris comes around to score. Daniel at third, Hodge at second. Jayla Lassiter at first base. So now the Tigers in a position where Bergeron gets into one. That would end the game tonight.
Catcher number 12, Macy Bergeron.
2 home runs this season for the catcher, Macy Bergeron. Grace Sparks trying to find the zone.
Looks like the low pitch is a little low, the high pitch is a little high.
To left field, down the line, that'll drop for a base hit. 1 run is in with Daniel. Hodge comes around, 2-run score. And the 1-out, 2-run double off the bat of Macy Bergeron. And the Tigers, with 4 on the board in the 6th, make it 7-1.
Bergeron, this is off the end of the bat. Look at the way she's going to get around this ball off the end of the bat, low and outside, but just puts it down into left field. And we've talked about the shift that Texas A&M has had. So Paisley Allen was well into the gap. That puts a couple more runs up on the board for LSU.
5th double of the season. Tigers swinging away. Slow roller to third. Powell. And it's in time. Edwards came up with an aggressive approach. And here's Char Lorenz. Lassiter still at third base. Bergeron at second. Nine, 1, and 2 would be due up for Texas A&M if we get to the top of the 7th inning. Char Lorenz would love to change that possibility right now. In the dirt, and a good block by AK. Kalawuski has done a really nice job.
Strong behind the dish, moves well, quick glove, quick feet.
Sparks delivers. Lauren's out in front. Tigers tonight. That solo blast by Franklin. Edwards stole home. A couple of bases loaded walks. That double moments ago to make it 7-1. Powell scoops it up and delivers. Tigers played 4. Top of the 7th and a 7-1 lead for the home team in Baton Rouge.
Let's go. Let's keep the momentum. Let's get us one. Get us one. Come on. Hey, stay locked in. Let's get us one. Here we go. Yes, here. Let's do it.
Beth Torina, thank you on a mic'd up Monday filled with energy and positivity as her team has come back in Game 3 and 3 outs away from getting a Game 3 win, their first SEC victory of the season. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott calling Baton Rouge tonight, and the home team has delivered up to this point. Pinch hitter for Texas A&M to start things off in the top of the 7th. Maddie Souding, freshman from Hawaii. Try to ignite the Aggies here. Michelle, you pointed out during that last break, LSU with 4 runs in that frame. That is more than what they scored in the first 2 games combined, or the same number, I should say, as what they scored in the first 2 games.
Yeah, just trying to get things together here, making it click. They've looked like a different offense. They've been more aggressive on the base paths.
Chilly, windy night. Advantage home team. And how about the performance in the circle for Tatum Clopton? A couple of shoulder surgeries. Strikeouts have been there tonight. Clutch pitching has been there tonight, even to start after the E9. Felt like the Aggies were going to be in position again early until they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, that first inning set the tone, left the bases loaded. She has battled for her outs.
Clopton at pitch number 106.
Just the 3rd time in her career she's been over 100 pitches.
Back to the top of the order. The Aggies. Full count.
Big hit, big pitch here for Clopton. You know, this is a long half inning sitting in the dugout. So it's important for pitchers to make sure they're keeping warm in the dugout on long offensive innings.
Here comes the 3-2. Rifled foul down the left field line. Sounding reaches, then you got a chance to get Maya Perez up to bat, and she hasn't seen a strike, it feels like, in 2.5 years. At least it gives you a chance. Oh, but not this time. On the outside edge, Clopton does it again.
51 miles an hour. She hasn't pulled that pitch out a lot tonight, but she needed it here, and it was special. That is a flip changeup. I talked with her a little bit about it yesterday, and she said when she's throwing that rail and really explodes through, you can see the way her hand is behind the ball, flips it out, fingers to home plate. She sells that pitch. Massive strikeout here in the 7th.
Her 5th of the game, trying to go the distance. Powell puts a charge in, that one at the wall, and it's dropped. Lassiter trying to track it down. And a tough play on the move.
This ball hit hard, it gets up in the air in that wind, and it looked like Lassiter was going to get underneath of it, but a little bit of a bobble at the end. You can see that foot slides just a little bit, goes off the glove. That is typically a ball that is caught.
So the double by Kennedy Powell. 2nd hit of the night, 3rd time she's reached. And in scoring position for Talon Edwards. Third hit of the night for the Aggies. LSU with 8 in this 6-run lead. A couple of deep breaths by Clopton in the circle. find the flip change fascinating, by the way, just in the delivery and the execution, especially in that moment. This one through the wickets all the way back to the wall, and Powell go back to second on the foul tip.
Yeah, flip change, when you can throw that pitch consistently, it is so hard to read out of the pitcher's hand because it typically spins tight. The tighter the ball spins, the faster it looks like it's coming.
Serve towards shallow left, and there's Kylie Edwards. Three different Tigers in the area that time between Hodge, Edwards, and Lorenz for out number 2.
Yeah, good job by Edwards to call off Hodge to go get that. There's another flip change up.
And the Aggies down to their final out. And my question for Michelle Smith, will Maya Perez see a strike in this game?
It's been all 12 balls it's worked so far. I don't think you give her anything, even though you have a 6-run lead. Just don't want to spark any hope. I mean, she's proven what she can do when you do give her a strike.
No question.
That's respect.
It's been delightful to watch her this weekend in action in person. And we were talking about it late last night in game 2 where she was up to bat. Before I could even pose the question, there was a ball that caught too much of home plate, and in a blink of an eye it was right at the center field wall. So walked once again, the 4th consecutive time this evening. And the Aggies with runners at first and second down to their final out for Michaela Wark. Pitch number 120. Hammered foul down the left field line.
Well, and that's the first time this season that Maya Perez has had 4 walks in a game. Obviously, she does get walked a lot, but you know, this is a perfect example of a game where the hitter in front of her is not getting on base, hitter behind her has not gotten a hit. So it's easy to make those decisions to go ahead and put her on.
Clopton trying to go the distance. When her team needed her the most, she has delivered. Michaela tonight 0 for 2. Didn't have the sac fly her last time up in the 5th inning. Made it a 3-1 game. It's felt a lot different since then. Right back up the middle, through the circle into center field. Here comes Powell to make it 7-2. Advancing to second is Perez. And a run-scoring single off the bat of the first baseman, Michaela Wark.
Nice shot by Wark, getting that ball back up the middle. This is what we were talking about. Hitters have been silent in front and behind Perez, but not on this one. Wark makes an adjustment. She's up in the box, gets a pitch that's slightly elevated and just punches it right back up the middle. Powell's going to come in to score. LSU keeps Perez at second.
And now a pinch runner comes in over at first. Scout Lovell, excuse me. Kowalewski will gather and get ready. Try to make this game a bit more interesting. And Michelle, with this win, if you're able to get another runner aboard, things start to tighten up just a little bit.
That's why those 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th were so important for LSU.
At 51 with the off speed. Aerial Kowalewski. They call her AK. Runners at first and second. Lovell over at first. Perez still at second base. Game in which LSU has not trailed tonight after never leading in the first two contests this weekend. Had to wait for it into left field. Perez racing into third base, and now the Aggies have him loaded. Well, don't go anywhere just yet. Down by 5, and the tying run moves into the on-deck circle here. Third hit of the frame to go along with a walk to Perez. One run is in for KK Dement. And now for Tatum Clopton, this becomes a critical moment for her and for her team trying to protect this lead. Aggies still down to their final out, obviously. That's a rocket towards the dugout. Dement tonight 0 for 3.
Yeah, at times that third out of the inning can be so elusive.
Dement 1 hit in 3 games. It was a big one. A home run in game 1, nearly hit a grand slam in the top of the first inning to right field. In that same contest, does have 3 grand slams in her career. And the change just missed. A walk here means the tying run comes up to bat. One swing could tie it up. They peel down to third. They'll say that she went 2-2, and the Aggies down to their final strike. Swung on and missed, and Clopton goes the distance. And LSU secures its first SEC win of 2026 tonight against Texas A&M.
How about the battle by Tatum Clopton? 6 strikeouts on the night. This last one with the bases loaded. It was a huge pickup for the LSU Tigers.
Now Clopton picks up the win, now 6-1 on the year. And you mentioned the strikeouts and the emotion sealing the deal.
Yeah, just so strong in the circle. Great leadership by the senior. You know, Beth Tarina loving what she's seen from her team. The bounce back from the losses in game 1 and 2 to pick up this all-important win. First SEC win for LSU.
Big deal in Baton Rouge. The Tigers get the job done. Clopton now 6-1. Sydney Lessentine falls to 8-2 in the first SEC setback for Texas A&M tonight here at LSU. A top 20 showdown. It delivered all weekend long. For Michelle Smith, I'm Roy Philpott. As we say good night from Baton Rouge.